Here we go. Welcome back to the Hive, everybody. This is Bree, and it's a new thing I've been doing this last couple of weeks where I bring someone on and try to see how much cringe I can force upon them while they're in my presence. So, yes, following, we have Miss Lemon and Emma Thorne on here to do some of this before, and I thought, who better to force cringe upon and to have the best reacts to than our Heathen Queen.
Hello, thanks for having me. I hope I can provide some good reactions.
Yes, and let us know in the side chat there if there's any audio issues or anything with any of it, because this is all new. As you can see, this is all new setup out here. You can't see it, my queen, but it is actually looks very different out there on YouTube. Well, I guess you said you opened the YouTube tab up so you can see it. Yeah, we don't. It doesn't look the same out there. I'm using OBS, but
Cool.
yeah. Hello. Let me say hi to everybody who's popped in so far first, because we got a good base. We got Stephanie and Michael and Ryan and Captive Desk.
Someone
And
said, "Is that HQ?" That's me.
yes,
That's me.
this is the Heathen Queen right here. Yes, I've got her in the hive, buzzing around the hive. Let's see who else we got. Beck, Calasia, Ox. Good to see everybody. Bob, Mikey, Kira. Hello, everybody. Yeah, I'm not going to go through because there's so many freaking people popping in. But hello, everybody who's showing up. Slight echo for me or slight echo for her.
I'm seeing if I can make sure my mic is right. That's right.
Okay, I can probably.
Yeah, I mean my mic is on this. My Yeti and my headphones are for the speaker, so I'm not sure.
Okay, yeah, it's we'll work with what we have here. I'm gonna drop my mic out here down a little bit, and hopefully that'll drop any echo that might be coming from my end. Anyway, let us know if it sounds better, if we still need to mess with it.
Folks in the chat.
Yeah. And I did, I did turn myself. Yeah, we both go quiet. We're like, "How's our sound?" But we both go quiet. Like,
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on.
it's probably on my end. She's low. Okay, hold on. We can boost her up and drop my mic down. Try that. Say something, Jess. And see if. No, now you're not making any sound at all.
Sorry. Hello.
Is that better? She sound better, guys? That sounded good and crisp to me. So.
What about now? Is that better or?
It sounds good. Echo's better, but you're still low. Well, yeah, we know there was nothing when she was muted, Ox.
Well, I'm fiddling with the volume on my mic, so I'm trying to see.
There it is. Okay.
Yeah.
I think that they're just now getting where you were. Okay, we're good. We're good. Okay, so now I'm low. I can boost myself up a bit, though. I can manually do that on this end. Only problem is I don't want it to echo through. So let me know if it starts to echo. And I should be right about there. Should be good for me. All right, there we go. Now let's try to keep it balanced and see if that works. I always start my show with audio issues. No problem. No problem at all. Now, yeah, I turned it up, so hopefully I'm not low anymore, Ox. Let me know if it's still a problem. Good evening, everybody. Well, it's evening here anyway. I don't know where. You're on the West Coast, right?
Yeah, it's 1:00 or 1:10 here.
So it's like afternoon for you.
Yeah.
But yes, so I'm bringing the cringe for everybody. I love doing this. I love watching stuff that normally I wouldn't respond to, but other people in the community might respond to, and I'd love to see how they respond to it. So that's what we're doing here today. And yeah, anything you want to say before we get started?
Oof. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the cringe.
Yeah.
You know, looking forward to railing against these morons, or these lovely, lovely people.
Yeah, the first person we're gonna have on for this is gonna be Yeah, let me switch us over here. And you will see what we're dealing with. No, this one. There we go. Share audio. And there you go. Do you recognize this person?
No, I don't know who that is.
This is, her name's Abby Roth.
Okay.
She has a show called Classically Abby, but she's
I've
more
heard of
famous.
that.
Yeah, she's more famous under a different surname though, because her original last name is Shapiro. This is Ben Shapiro's little sister.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
So let's dive in and hear what she has to say about 5 lies that the left tells women that make her furious. Ready?
Okay.
Hello Classic Crew, and welcome to today's video where we're going to be talking about 5 things the left tells women that make me furious. If you are new to my channel, here we talk about classic living and traditional values, and I would love if you would consider subscribing and hitting that notification bell.
Or another option is there's one down here right below my video that you could hit that on instead. That's probably even a better idea.
I agree.
Yeah.
If you'd like to get access to a ton of exclusive content, including my book club, my movie club, as well as...
Okay, and I have a Patreon. You can get in on that. Fun stuff out there if you want to subscribe to that. Let's see. How long does she shill for? Because this is only a 13-minute video, so...
that just make me mad.
Okay.
I saw this on another person's channel. They did this thing where it was like 5 things in their field that make me furious. And I thought that was super fun. And I've got some things that make me furious. So I'm ready to talk about it.
And I think we're both on the left, right? Because this is about the left. So she's talking about the lies that we're telling people. Just to keep that in mind.
Not happy? Let's get into it.
Do you, scratch that, you do others. Ooh, sounds spicy.
I mean, sometimes.
Yeah. If you're into that, I'm
If you're lucky.
Find that unicorn, Abby.
Number 1. Why does the left insist on telling women that sex with random people is empowering? It's not. It's just not. Having sex with one man who loves you, respects you, wants...
Why, though?
It's like, literally nobody is fucking telling anybody that having random sex is empowering. What they're saying is, if you want to have sex with people, that's your choice because you have agency. Like, that's not saying, like, going out and just randomly fucking someone. Sorry, I'm probably demonetizing your channel.
You're fine. I'm not monetized anyway.
Like, nobody is saying that. I hate it because the right consistently, and I mean, they consistently misrepresent everything.
So yeah, the mess. It's actually like it's almost like gaslighting about how this narrative historically comes about. The women were not allowed to go be with who they want or be with as many people as they want or try different things. It was frowned upon to have these lived experiences, and we've moved on past that as a society. But there's this clingers on that follow people like this, and
I mean, they have to have something to be like upset about because if they weren't, they'd actually have to focus on like solutions to problems.
Yeah.
So, go off, Queen.
Yeah. Let's see what lies do you think she's talking about?
Wants to have a family with you. That's empowering. That's pretty awesome because
okay, so she thinks the only that having a family, and there's nothing wrong with being a stay-at-home mom and having a family and doing that stuff if that's what you're into and your partner's wanting that too in the relationship. That's right.
Dr. Josh has entered the chat.
Oh no, Dr. Josh is gonna. Now we have 2 people who can't even instantiate the necessary preconditional instantiation. Oh my, this is getting, I can't even say some of these words. Wittgenstein. Will you take out this trash in the side chat and we're going to listen to what this lady has to say? Go ahead, get him. thank you for coming, Dr. Josh, and yeah, and sassing us from the side chat.
You want to know what's really empowering? Is a guy who loves you enough to want to make you feel good, as opposed to a guy who wants to have a one-night stand and is looking for his own pleasure. Have you considered?
Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. Has she considered the fact that it's possible that you could have a one-night stand or just have casual sex with someone you know, and they might actually be interested in you feeling good? It's a weird concept. I know.
I don't know many people who go into one-night stands, especially saying, "I just want an orgasm for myself," and then fuck you.
Well,
I don't know.
So.
Yeah, I don't. But I mean, I'm sure that that mindset exists, but I'm sure that there's just as many married people married women whose husbands are like, "Oh yeah, I'm just gonna, be
it's just weird to me that she thinks like, and whatever. It's just like these people just have it's like they have no life experience. That's like they've been so repressed that all they know is this like one very narrow viewpoint. And I bet you dollars, what is it Dr. Josh says? Dollars to pesos, that this woman, if she's married, which I assume she is not having very exciting sex. I'd be willing to die on that hill.
Yeah, if you're having a good time, you usually don't have to tell everybody else how good of a time you're having.
Exactly. So true.
That a guy who is devoted to you, who loves you, who's going to spend his life with you, cares whether or not you are having fun. A guy who is never going to see you again cares if he is having fun. Which is more empowering?
What is that based on, though? That sounds like there'd be I think there'd be men in both categories and both groups. Married men who don't care about their partner's pleasure, and non-married men who don't care about their partner's pleasures, or single men that are dating. I think that people like that exist across multiple demographics.
Yeah, I mean, like, come on. Your brother thinks that, like, a wet vagina is, like, unhealthy. So, like, that's all I need to know about any of it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Y'all are weird.
Yeah.
Which is more empowering? A situation where if you got pregnant, the guy was ready and willing to have children with you, is excited about it, wants to be the father of your children, or having sex with a guy who would absolutely panic if you told him that you were pregnant.
But, like, what are you basing this on?
Big problem.
And why aren't you on birth control? Or, like, using protection? Like,
she actually has videos that are anti-birth control. She has videos and content that's out here that is anti-birth control. It's pretty icky.
Yeah, that is icky.
There's a lot of reasons that having sex with people outside of marriage is not empowering. It's easy to convince yourself and lie to yourself and say, well, I like sex. So if I like sex, then it must be empowering for me to get it however I want it.
I want to also say with this setup, I do have to mute myself when I'm playing the video. But her video is Abby's video is actually echoey too. It sounds like she's like recording this with her like a laptop mic or something in a kitchen. So yeah, take it for what it is. We're gonna get the best or try to get the best sound quality out of her as we can. But yeah, and again, thank you everybody for sticking around. I appreciate all the love and support from the community and everybody popping in and taking their jabs.
No, that's just wrong, and it's stupid. Having sex with the person that you have chosen to build a life with, because, sex is not just any other physical activity. It is a unique one. It is a special one that you share with one person, and that can lead to the creation of a baby. Yeah.
Is it like a healthy thing to be in a relationship with somebody and never know if you're really compatible sexually before
No.
you're already married? Because
I was having a conversation with someone the other day, and we come from similar like evangelical backgrounds. And both of us were saying that like when we finally lost our virginity, like, you know, whatever point, both of us, it was not with each other, but both of us were like, "Uh, that was it. Like that was it. Like this my entire life I've been being told that it's this like sacred spiritual like experience,
put
and
it up
like
on a
it definitely
pedestal.
can be this like very emotional and like connecting experience, but it also often isn't. And like I was just like that is what I've spent my entire life thus far avoiding. Like, and yeah, it was just
Right. Yeah. I mean, the I remember my first time was like, yeah, and that situation was quickly over, and it was like, yeah. So that's what it was, huh? And then, yeah.
yeah, it was just not.
I don't want to say it was disappointing, but it was. It probably was for her, actually.
I'd imagine that having sex is disappointing every time for her, and that's why she has to talk about how amazing it is every time her and her husband have sex. Let me tell you, I never feel the need to tell anyone.
Yeah.
You know?
Keep that in marriage. Enjoy it with the person who loves you and cares about you. And stop treating sex like something you can do willy-nilly, because you shouldn't.
No.
Is that something you're
Is that a
familiar with?
position?
Yeah. I'd like to try this willy-nilly sometime.
This is weird because she's also using can and should, which is weird to me. Like she's saying like it's something you should do, not something you can do. Well, no, it actually is something you can do however the hell you want, so long as it's with another consenting adult or other consenting adults. But like,
well, she has a prescriptive worldview on sex. There's things
yeah.
sexually that you're supposed to do. You know, if that orifice is not supposed to be used for that, whatever. But that's not what other people. Now see, that's the problem right now. Like someone like you or me wouldn't be sexually compatible with someone like Abby. And if you went and got married to her, and you're wanting to get all wild, and the Shapiros like it nice and dry, you're not going to have a happy marriage.
I mean, yeah, that's also the thing. Like, I don't understand how Christians expect you to not have sex before marriage, and then you get married, and they just expect that it's going to be great. And like, I'm going to tell you something that you all probably already know. You learn as you go, and like sometimes you're just not compatible with someone in that way, and if you're then stuck with that person, that's going to breed resentment. Yeah. Yeah.
For the audience, you're going to have repressed feelings and expectations of what you want in the relationship that aren't going to match your partner's. That's why I think it's important to try a grown-up relationship, so to speak. Just to have sex with the person if you're interested in partnering up with them. I don't think anybody should decide they're going to be in the long haul and dedicate that much of their life to someone without knowing if they intend to have sex with that person anyway. I guess there's ace people who can still seek partnership. But,
Sure.
You know.
Yeah. Yeah. I just
And you can't. And the left is doing women a real disservice by trying to convince them that sex outside of marriage with everybody and anybody is empowering. It's not. I've got quite a few videos on my channel about this, so if you are interested in hearing more...
Oh, I was like, you've got quite a few videos?
But, yeah, that's number one.
Yeah, that was the first one. That's one of 5. Are you feeling this? Are you feeling kind of the direction we're taking?
I mean, yeah, it's definitely a direction.
Yeah, so right now it's like have no matter what you're so far right now, no matter what kind of sexual stuff your partner prefers. You don't get to find out. It's kind of a like
Big
rolling,
secret.
It's rolling one of those the big dice.
The dice.
Yeah, from Dungeons and Dragons. It's rolling one of those and hoping that yours matches up with the person that you've already said you're gonna, share half of your, well, at least half of your money with.
God. Yeah.
Let's see what's next.
And it makes me furious. Number 2, shout your abortion. Get an abortion. Have an abortion rather than have a baby. It is good for women to have the option to murder their child so that they can pursue their careers.
All right. Are you frozen?
No.
Oh, your face was
I'm
frozen.
just.
It was
So,
that bad.
like-
That's what I'm here for, is to hear her
First
say
of all-
these things and see how.
Oh my God. Like, shout your abortion. Like, listen, I know that there are people who say it loudly, but there's a reason that they're saying it loudly, right? It's because people are trying to make this shameful and bad and all the things she's doing. And so people feel the need to say it publicly and loudly as something they're not ashamed of, and they shouldn't be ashamed of it. But this idea that like women are going and getting an abortion and then like running, jumping, and skipping out and like shouting it to the world while like throwing confetti in the air is fucking stupid. Like nobody is doing that. And it's a personal choice that they're making with their own bodies for their own bodies. And like all this tells me is that she has no goddamn idea about how abortion works or what the science is like for pregnant people. Like that thing, like it isn't even a cognizant, like
The thing I see here too is that she's comparing it to celebration. This movement on normalizing the abortion thing is more on par with like the Me Too thing. If I went through this traumatic event and I'm going to put myself out there and say Me Too, so that other people who have been through this experience know that they're not alone, and that we can support each other. Because she acts like everybody's out like woo about their abortion. Most people it's like
nobody is like super stoked about getting an abortion. Like I've never met anybody that's had an abortion that was like, hell yeah, I was so excited about that. Like no one is ever excited about. I mean, they might not. I don't think. Yeah, it's
No, that's wrong. None of that is true. And this makes me so mad. Because number one, it's murder. Okay.
It's not, but okay. It's not murder. Yeah.
Get that off the table. Number 2, no woman is better off for killing her child. Women can tell themselves that they are. They can.
I mean, you're muted, I think, maybe.
So, sorry, I got to get used to this layout. I do like this visual layout better, though. I'm using new software stuff today, so we will fill it out. But thank you so much for letting me know. But yes, I am. I don't even remember what I said. I'm just annoyed by this argument.
I think you're still muted.
I shouldn't be now.
Okay, because I just keep seeing it pop up in the chat. Maybe there's a lag. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, they know you're not muted.
Yeah.
Anyway, I was just if you didn't hear that, it was just me making a less graceful violinist argument. You weren't missing anything. I'm sorry. You come here to hear this lady talk anyway, not me.
I'm just ranting.
can tell themselves that they're better off for having killed their child so that they could have a more stable life. But women who abort their children know that it's a child. They know, and it's their baby. And they're doing something harmful not only to another person, but to themselves. Why don't we encourage women to embrace their natural strength as
like embrace the unwanted pregnancy, right? You want to.
I mean, it's just built on this idea that what women are on planet Earth for is to bear children. And it also embraces this idea that the only people that can bear children are women, right? There's like this inverse that goes on here. And so, I mean, obviously that doesn't surprise me coming from her because she's like super trad. But if we're really like thinking about it, that's the crux of this argument, right? Is her saying women are here to have babies.
Well,
they should embrace it.
And that's it's so I mean, and I'm not here to like kink shame anybody, but it really is a kink to like breed. We only have sex to breed. To me, that's like, if you're into that and that's what you want to do with your sex life, you want to every time that you go at it to be hoping for a baby and have this pregnancy fetish, it's whatever. It's like, have your breast milk ice cream, but not everybody else wants to be a part of that lifestyle. And you shared that with me, by the way. You brought that to my attention. Thank you very much.
Sorry. Thanks, Jason Jacoby.
as mothers and tell them that they can do this thing that seems so scary, instead of telling them that they just can't handle it and this isn't the right time.
Shapiros to shut the fuck up. That's what we should be encouraging. Just all Shapiros, shut up. Actually, not all Shapiros. I have a couple of friends with those last names. They're awesome.
Yeah. Very,
These Shapiros can shut up.
This Shapiro dynasty, this specific.
Yeah. Just, God.
They should just get rid of this human that was put into their care by themselves, presumably, because in 99% of cases, women who get pregnant and want an abortion, it was because they had sex of their own volition.
She's about to make the the consent to sex is consent to pregnancy argument, and I'm not on board with that. That's like saying you consent to that you're getting behind the wheel of a car, you consent to be in an accident.
This argument makes me so goddamn mad because, like, you couldn't get pregnant without a man, right? Like, you cannot get pregnant without a man being involved. And at the same time, this, like, 99% of women that get pregnant doing it of their own volition. Sure, they're doing it of their own volition, but, like, let's talk about this. Are they using protection? Is the man using proper protection? Did the man nag them into not using proper protection? Like, there's so much going on there. So much going on. And to say that, like, well, if a woman consents to have sex, then she consents to give up the rest of her life to take care of another one. Get fucked. And not in a fun way, because, like, you know.
Yeah. That's what got you there in the first place. But
yeah, exactly. God.
But they could you imagine only ever engaging with your partner to breed? I don't.
No.
Yeah.
No. I mean, I don't, like, yeah, no.
Volition, and then we're like, oh, whoops. Another reason why sex is not empowering. This is just a horrible lie.
Who is saying sex is empowering anyway, though? I don't.
Yeah, nobody is saying sex is empowering. What people are saying is having the autonomy and agency to do what you want with your own body is empowering.
Embracing your own sexuality with consenting adults is not.
Yes. So that's the thing. Like, no one is saying that sex in and of itself is empowering. I would never argue that. That's like saying that going to the gym and lifting weights is empowering. Is it empowering for me? Yes. Is it going to be empowering for everybody? No. So, like, but I have the option to do that, right? Like, I get to decide if I do that, and the person next to me gets to decide if they do that. And the difference here, obviously, is that sex involves another person, so that person also needs to consent. But like that's the thing, the activity. And I've said this a million times. Sex in and of itself is a neutral activity. It can be good, it can be bad, whatever. But like the act in and of itself is a human bodily function. It's natural, it's normal, and that's it. That's the extent of it. Yes, again, it can be good, it can be bad, it can be all of these things. But like in and of itself, it's just an act.
Yeah.
So like, is it empowering for some people? Sure, but I think oftentimes why it's empowering is, or I think I would say all the reason it's empowering is because of the autonomy and agency that goes with it, right? Like no one finds it empowering to be sexually assaulted. That's sex, right? Like,
Right.
but if they have the choice and the autonomy and the agency and they want to, then that's empowering for them. Like,
I absolutely agree. Yeah, it's a neutral act. I mean, you can weaponize it. Definitely, you
Of
can
course.
weaponize it against your partner. Even use it to gain or lose whatever you want from your partnership, depending on the dynamic. You can use sex as a punishment for your partner. That doesn't make the act of sex a punishment, or
Right.
the withdrawing sex too is people saying, "Oh, you're denying me sex. You aren't owed sex." That's a whole different argument, though. I'm getting down a different
Yeah.
rabbit hole. But I imagine that when Mr. Roth wants some Abby, he takes in some Abby. I don't imagine she has much say in it.
The left has perpetrated against women, that abortion is the best option, or a good option, or an option at all. Abortion is wrong. It's bad for women. It hurts them. And I truly am furious about this.
Cool.
Yeah, abortions. You think you're furious about it? The people who have to make the decision. Imagine what they are going through.
Right.
You self-centered. Yeah, main character syndrome. Yeah. Other people's lived experiences might not be as fruitful as yours has been, having rich family members or a wealthy brother to make sure that your content gets
Right,
gets
yeah.
noticed. So yeah, other women have to think about their own future and the future that they would have to offer a baby as well. It's not that simple, and it's gross that you can't understand that.
Number 3, fulfill your potential. Fulfill your potential, ladies. You can't fulfill your potential unless you get out of the house. How are you going to show how smart you are unless you have an amazing career? I hate that. I hate that.
But why though? I think that if people have the drive to go out and do something, they shouldn't be held back from it by your idea of what they should be doing with their life, by your concept of what a woman should be doing with her life.
God. Ah, I hate her. Okay. Come on, Abby.
Why can't a woman fulfill her potential at home raising her children? What does potential even mean? Why do
she
I have
can.
to prove
That's
my
the
potential to
point.
people who...
That is the point. She can prove her potential at home if that's what she wants to do, right? Like if you're going to say like, what is potential? Why do I have to do X in order to fulfill my potential? Okay. Why do I have to stay at home with children to fulfill my potential other than the fact that you think that that's what women are here to do, right? Like, hello?
Yeah, they're breeding machines, right? That's her potential's fine as long as it stays within the confines of what the cultural expectations are or what she calls classic or traditional values. Yeah.
God.
think of me as replaceable, rather than fulfilling my potential to the little humans I am raising who I literally could not be replaced. Like I was made to be their mother.
I got a crazy idea that I know some people that manage to do both. Isn't that wild? I know PhDs who have raised kids. Who slammed that potential ladder to the top, they're a doctor in their field and still managed to raise kids. It's not a this or that situation.
Well, that's the thing is, like, again, she just misses the entire point all the time, which isn't shocking to me. But, like, nobody, okay, maybe there's some people on the left, but, like, the majority of people on the left are not saying every woman should go get a graduate degree and go into the workforce and have a career and never have any children. Like, nobody is saying that. Like, what people are saying is, like, do what you would like to do, make your own choices, do what you find fulfilling. Like, no one's upset that she finds being a mom fulfilling. That's great. Love it. Good for you. But, like,
everybody has to think
being a mom
fulfilling.
Yeah, like, I don't really want kids. Like, I want to go to graduate school. I want to have a career. I want to do whatever. Like, that's fulfilling for me. Like, why? Like, the point is the choice.
Mother, they cannot replace me as their mother. So why do we tell women that the only way that they can fulfill their potential is outside of the home, in a job, in a career?
We don't. That's not a thing that's being said.
Sorry.
You're good. It's fine. No, I'm with you.
I hate that kind of language because it makes it as though if you stay at home, you have failed or you're not living up to how smart you are.
The only person that says that is her.
Don't let them tell you that, Abby. If that's what you aren't doing this. First of all, you aren't living this because you have a media presence where you're producing, you're working. You're a working mom, I guess would be the best way to say it. Because while you're doing this, you aren't watching your kids. You aren't mothering. You have a job that takes you away from your kids too. So you should understand. You are doing what you say that women shouldn't do.
You are? Like, what are you talking about? The most important thing you can do is build a home and build your family. Like, why do we make it so that women have to show off that they have done something that is visibly fulfilling their potential? And it's like, if any person can be a mother because you don't need a degree to get pregnant and have a baby, then
maybe you should.
Some people aren't cut out for it though,
But also, like, again, all this language that she tosses around, like what we're made to do, right? Like, the only reason you think we're made to do this is because you believe in this 2,000-year-old book. Okay? And fine, you're allowed to do that. That is your choice. But, like, women were not made to be in the home. If they would like to be in the home, fine, great, love that for them. Do it.
There's no credit given to the women who do motherhood well, who like care about it and really put in effort, living and traditional values. And I would love if you would.
I didn't mean to do that. Ew. Though, did you hear what she just said?
Yeah, like, there's no credit. Like, listen, I will say this. I know that stay-at-home moms often don't get enough credit for, like, all of the silent and invisible labor that they do, but she's acting like people are like, you're a stay-at-home mom? Ew, gross, lazy. And the only people that I've ever heard say that are men. I never hear women being like, oh, you're a stay-at-home mom, God, you never do anything. Ugh. Like, no, because I know just from having younger sisters, just from knowing women, from just like, I know how much work goes into taking care of a house and raising kids at the same time. Like, that shit sounds completely exhausting. I do not want to do that. So that's why I don't. But, like, that's the thing. Like, the only people that are ever saying this are usually, when you get down to it, right-wing men. There are certainly men on the left that are also boneheads and will say dumb shit like that. But, like, the reality is the men that usually go after women for being lazy because they're staying at home are not highly educated or, like, very progressive men most of the time.
Well, it's Schrodinger's mom, right? She's not willing to go out and work, but they also don't want to and they want her to stay at home and not go out and work, but they also want her to not collect benefits to help her support her kid at the same time. And this is all under the assumption that she got pregnant by a father that was willing to go to work, and you can't support it under most places. You can't support a household with a child under a one-family income. So even with dad going out to work, they probably still qualify for benefits. But you would say no. She's being lazy. Not you. These people that are naysaying the work, they're stay-at-home moms. You would say no. She needs to go out and get a job and help support. But you'll also say no. She needs to stay at home. Depending on which side of the cheek you're turning to the sun that day.
Like care about it and really put in effort. I hate that kind of language. No. You fulfill your potential by just being a good person, by being a good mother. You don't have to get this high-powered career to.
But yeah, you don't have to. But exactly, that's the point. You don't have to. That's the point.
I imagine that's probably not the last time we're going to see her run right into the point and miss it. So. We still got 2 more to get through. Oh.
Yay.
To prove you're smart, or to prove you're ambitious, or to prove you did a good job. Stupid. I hate that.
Stupid.
Number 4, be body positive.
When you see somebody that's in the public spotlight that's overweight, you don't know their story. You don't know what they're going through medically, physically, what's happening in their life to put them in whatever state they're in physically. And you should, unless
it's none of your business. Sorry, it's none of your goddamn business about somebody else's body. I don't care how big or small it is, unless you are their doctor. It is none of your fucking business.
Right.
Full stop. Period. Germania said, can I come in and mansplain to you in HQ, please?
Oh my goodness. Here we go.
That's the thing, right? Listen, no one is saying you have to be attracted to all body types. Nobody is saying that. All we're saying is that people should be allowed to feel good about themselves. And you should mind your own fucking business.
Boom.
But she doesn't know anything about minding her own business, so.
I hate this language. Okay, so here's my issue with this whole body positivity movement, and I've talked about this a lot. So, number 1, we encourage women to love their bodies, but not loving their bodies where they're at, and for what they do, while also encouraging them to be healthy and lose weight and or gain weight if needed. We encourage people to love their bodies where they're at. And that's beautiful.
You should love your body.
But really, it's very unhealthy, and it doesn't encourage.
Right, she says it like it's a bad thing. You should love your body where it's at. You can strive to be healthier, strive to be better, whether it's changing something that you're doing for your mental health or changing something you're doing for your physical health. Whatever makes you the healthiest, and you're not hurting anybody else.
Why does she care? Why does she care?
Fat phobia is irrational, and I don't know. I didn't have the misfortune of growing up as a little girl, so I didn't have all that body pressure. But go for it.
I did, and I also struggled with eating disorders for most of my life, and I still very much I don't have an eating disorder now. Don't worry, but I still struggle very much with body dysmorphia, with viewing when I look at my body, right? Any partner I've ever had, I will look at my body and see something and just be kind of repulsed by it for some way, and they're we have no idea what you're seeing, none of it. And day to day my body will look different to me, and the reality is it's not changing unless I'm doing something a very sort of specific weight cut or bulk or whatever, but overall day to day my body's not looking very different. And the thing is, I have, and not just me, women generally speaking, as little girls, are fed this constant pressure, especially if you grew up. I mean, I'm sure other times too, but when I was a teenager, it was like very in to be like incredibly
Like
thin,
Guess
and like the
jeans that
low
model.
jeans, and like, yeah, we had like Paris Hilton and Lindsay Lohan when they were all on like drugs. They were
Yeah.
super thin, and it's like the heroin chic modeling look, and like I am so grateful that has changed, but like the idea that like it is wild how much this societal conditioning and shaming can like mess with the way you see your own body, because the way like I don't see my body the same way as other people do, and it doesn't matter how much I try. Like yeah, it's just bizarre.
Trying to find something here. Was it? I think it was from Purple. Just from our genetics, it would be absurd to expect us to have the same body shape. Yeah, because a lot of that stuff comes into play with where your family is from. Again, like she said 3 times now, it's none of Abby's fucking business. You see someone on a bus that's overweight, or you think that they're overweight, none of your business. You don't know jack shit about what they're going through and what their personal life is like. So keep it. You worry about you and make sure your own ass is clean. Is what.
Right. It's just like, don't you say that you have like all of these responsibilities and you're being like this excellent mother. I'm telling you right now, if you are against feeling good about your body at any size, you're not a good mother. You're not being a good mother. Like, at least in that department. Like, and I don't fault my mom for this at all, but like my mom also had eating disorders, and I watched very carefully and internalized the way that she felt about her body and the way that she did things. And like we have, I can see this now. The same insecurities I have about my body, like very specifically, are the ones that she had about hers. And like it people are not perfect. We all have problems, but like if you are a healthy person who doesn't have eating disorders, who doesn't have that trauma, and you are so upset because other people are trying to feel good about their bodies, you are instilling something very dangerous into your children. Because if your child gets sick or has a genetic predisposition or just gains weight for whatever reason, right? Like for any reason, they're going to
even
feel
weight
so
gain.
bad about it.
Even weight gain from overindulgent can have a medical source to it. You don't know.
So, I mean, here's the thing though. I used to weigh, in high school, I think I weighed 125 pounds. For reference, I weigh probably about 150 right now. When I was in high school, I barely ate because 125 is just not somewhere my body ever wants to be. It's not. Like if I am eating really well and exercising regularly, I'm probably about 140. If I'm really careful about what I'm eating and exercising, like I weigh and measure my food, I can get down to like 138. But like 125 is not a weight my body ever wants to be at. It's just not, it just won't go there. When I was 138, I had, I think it was 7% body fat. Like I didn't have periods. Like it just, my body didn't want that. But I would eat one thing, just one thing, and I would look at myself and feel like I had gained weight, and I would go into a spiral because of this whole like just mind fuck that's going on when you have an eating disorder. And like,
isn't it so bizarre to see that people are still out there promoting this mindset? And she's only taken it one way in her head, and that's fat phobia. But it swings, the pendulum swings both ways for anybody who struggles with any kind of eating disorder. The public, your psychological fear of the public's perception of you, or your own perception of yourself, you don't know what someone else's lived experience. So just try to be kind until someone's given you a reason to not be kind. Be kind.
It's just wild.
Women to actually like get to a healthy place with their bodies, and at the same time, we encourage women to be immodest all the time. Like, We put women in direct competition with each other by encouraging people to dress in a way that shows off their entire bodies. Like a fashion trend was a bra last.
Like it's like she's so close to the point. So close. So close.
Yeah, like I said, there's going to be some times where she's just going to run right into the issue and like miss it by looking the other direction at traditional values. Well, there's traditions.
Yes, we do pit women against each other. We do, but it's not by forcing them or telling them to dress immodestly. We pit women against each other because we live in a patriarchal society, which is inherently hierarchical and puts us all in competition, and because we are told that we need to hate other women and see them as competition because we're competing for the attention and validation of men. I got news for everybody. Men's validation ain't shit. It doesn't mean anything because it's fickle and it changes and it goes wherever it wants. And so like men's validation should have nothing to do with the way we feel about ourselves. Just as it for men, women's validation should not affect the way they feel about themselves. Like,
season, so you're just supposed to wear a bra out. And it's like, oh no, we're body positive because fat women and skinny women and curvy women and boyish women can all wear these things and they should all wear them.
She says it, and then she doesn't give any refutation for it, just says it's wrong.
These things, who's gonna look better in these things? Come on. Why are we putting people in
according to who?
She has
like she's almost standards. There.
She thinks that there's some. Does she think there's objective beauty standards? Because, again, like you talked about the '90s, there was the heroin model craze. Women, Marilyn Monroe was like 170 some pounds when she was modeling. And if you look at like these old Renaissance times, the thicker a woman was, the more attractive she was considered by the cultural standards. So it's not objective.
No, and it's just like, yeah, like she's so close. Where it's like, why do you think that? Because this is what she thinks. Why do you think that skinny women look better in these clothes? I will tell you. It's called cultural conditioning. Like. That's it.
Yeah, it's all those magazines and commercials and everything being this is what's beautiful. This is what you must look like to be beautiful, and it's not. Right. That's not real. It's not objective. You've just been taught that.
Competition with each other by encouraging them to expose their bodies when we're also telling them, like, love where you're at. You're so beautiful. We're not blind. People are smart. We can tell what's a healthier body than another. And
no, you can't. You actually can't. Sorry. Because, like, so my sport of choice is weightlifting, right? Let me tell you something. There are women that are healthier than me who are far bigger than I am. They are stronger than me. They have better stats, like better body metrics across the board. Like all of it. I don't mean just lifting numbers. I mean like sincerely, like their bone density is better, their blood pressure. It has nothing to fucking do with what you can see. Sorry, it just doesn't.
You're good. No, I'm glad you. This is again why you're here. I want you to respond to these things because.
Well, and if you look at girls that are super skinny, again, they could be totally healthy. I'm not saying they're not, but like thinness is not a metric of health.
You know, I was lucky enough to have a stable metabolism from the age of 13 till the age I was 35. I weighed the exact same weight that whole time. Nice, solid 135 pounds, stayed there. So coming into being a woman, that's part of the reason why I couldn't respond to this by myself. I didn't have that pressure growing up to try to change the way I physically look. I was more along the lines of hoping everybody thinks I'm really a boy. Spending most of my time, yeah. But so I didn't have time to worry about this stuff. But I wanted someone who had to have that lived experience to be able to say, hey, you know, I didn't know you had eating disorders before, so I'm glad that you were on here for when she brought that up because
Well, I want to mention one thing.
Mhm.
In the chat, Godseed said, therefore we must condition people to like all body types in order to correct it. No, no one is saying that, right? This is something people try with me on my channel all the time, where they say things like, well, like, I just don't have this preference for X. You don't have to have that preference, right? No one is saying that you have to be attracted to every body type that you come across, or that you have to, like, no one is saying that like you have to be attracted to women with pink and purple hair, right? Like nobody is saying that. We're all allowed to have preferences for what we find attractive or what we don't find attractive. There's nothing wrong with that. What we're saying is that like I don't have the right to tell somebody else that they need to adhere to what I think is attractive, right? They can be happy with the way that they look with their body, even if I'm not attracted to it.
That's what you run into with a lot of people about trans stuff too. So that is something I can relate to. Like oh, it's not transphobic to not be attracted to a person with a penis. If you're not attracted to penises, absolutely don't date someone with a penis or don't climb in bed with somebody with a
Right,
penis.
yeah.
But that doesn't mean that women with penises aren't attractive, and you get
Right.
to say, hey, that's unattractive, and I don't want that in my society because I find it unattractive. No,
Right.
I don't give a fuck
Yeah.
if you think it's unattractive. Does not matter at all to me in my day-to-day life what you find attractive, and if you find it offensive that you don't find me attractive, that's a
Right.
you
Well,
problem,
it's
buddy.
the same, right? Like I have guys and they say this to me. I get guys that say this all the time. Like I asked, I would never date a girl with like brightly colored hair. Cool.
Yeah,
Who's
people were just
asking you to
beating
date
down
a
the
girl with brightly colored hair? Nobody. Like, you don't have to find my hair attractive. You don't have to find me attractive. You don't have to find the way I dress attractive. You don't have to find my face attractive. You don't have to find my body type attractive. You don't have to find anything about me attractive. Nobody is saying that you do. But what you can't do is tell me that I should change the way I look for so that you'll find me attractive. Why? Right? So like that's the thing. I don't care for people can have whatever preference they want. Sincerely. Like any preference you want. That is your preference. But as individuals, we are allowed to look the way we want, present the way we want, within like reason. Can't really go out naked in public in most places, but like, you can present the way you want mostly.
Surprise,
And
that's cultural too. That's not something that's universal. There's a
yes,
lot
well,
of
I mean, when I
places.
went to Spain, like there were women topless on the beach. It is not even a thought, and no one's giving them a hard time. It's not weird. It caught me off guard for a second just because I wasn't expecting it, but like it's normal for them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
normal part of society.
By exposing everything and encouraging people to expose everything, we're only doing a disservice to everybody. It's so stupid. I'm so against the immodesty of our culture for a lot of reasons, but like this is one reason that I hate because it's so these.
She thinks our culture's immodest when we're again probably like you were saying, just going to Spain, even another Western country,
Right.
and we look like Puritans by comparison. I think the only country I can think of that has more puritanical values than we'd have is Poland.
Two things are paradoxical and they act like they're not, but they are. It's upsetting. On top of which, I mean, the whole idea that you have to expose yourself to show that you're confident is so
Nobody said that.
Stupid.
Yeah, that's not anything, a message that I've heard anywhere.
No.
Oh yeah, if you were really body positive, you'd get naked in front of everybody. Nobody's saying that, or getting your underwear in front of people. It's saying that, you know what, no matter what your body type is, if you are comfortable and you want to wear this or that, you go ahead. You don't have anything to prove to anybody else. It makes you comfortable.
Yeah, like whatever you feel comfortable and confident in.
And I'm against anybody trying to make somebody else feel uncomfortable for what their choices are, what to wear out too. It's
Right.
toxic. You perpetrate the environment that makes people judge each other by their body types.
Exactly. Like nobody can. I don't care so long as I mean, personally, I've gotten to a point where like most naked bodies don't really affect me much. unless like there's someone I'm attracted to, or you know what I mean, whatever. But like the body itself is not this like offensive thing in any of its forms, and it's not inherently sexual either, right? But like we've created this culture where like everything is so sexualized, and like bodies are shameful, and so it gets perpetuated like this. And like obviously I'm not saying that like everyone should be going around naked, although like there are nudist colonies and people seem very happy there, and I'm happy for them. But it's just like this idea is just so annoying that like first of all, she misrepresents every single argument she makes. That's not surprising. She like makes these straw man arguments. Nobody is making these arguments, and then she knocks them down like she's some like boy genius. And it's just obnoxious. But also like anyway, yeah, that's all. Okay.
You can be confident in your modesty. I cover up because I
Yeah,
love my
you
body and I
can.
respect it, and I only want to share it with one person who will show it the respect it deserves. Why do you
Great.
get access, stranger on the internet, to my body, and you don't care a lick about me? Like, no, we're not
Nobody
doing
is
that.
saying that. Nobody is saying. No one is like forcing her to start an OnlyFans. Like nobody.
Right, but nobody would. But she does things I mean, she's wearing earrings, and I'm sure she picks out her clothes to look nice in public. What somebody finds sexy is very subjective, Abby. So even though you think that modesty matters, it doesn't. Some people, that's going to be even more mystery is more fun for them. There's people have all kinds of attractions.
I mean, the thing is like I can think pretty much everyone I've ever dated, they have found me attractive or sexy in when I'm when I'm naked, when I'm wearing like little clothing, or when I'm really covered up and dressed up nicely or whatever. Like it has nothing to do with how much of my body is showing necessarily. Right? And so
It
like this
can,
idea
but
that
yeah, it
like
doesn't
it
have
can,
to.
sure, but like this idea that like just because you're more covered up, therefore like no one's gonna find you sexy. Like best of luck, beloved. Like
The body positivity movement, the
no one's gonna find her
immodesty of
sexy
our
because
era,
she's
like,
annoying, but that's fine.
I hate it.
Yeah.
Just dress in a way that is attractive, not attracting, that gives people an opportunity to see your
Or just like what like yeah, what is attractive?
Yeah, it's attractive. We're going to need some clarification about what she means, because she uses a lot of terms that seems like that we're supposed to pick up on, that she's not outright saying, a lot of maybe conservative terminology.
So blessed be he keeps saying that his kingdom is within us, and I just want you to know that his kingdom has been inside me several times.
Ooh, yeah, me too.
So, you know. Next.
All right, what do we got next, Abby?
personality and doesn't make people focus on your boobs. Give
Why
people
not?
an
I like
opportunity
boobs.
to exercise
My boobs are great.
and get healthy and well.
Mine are getting there. We'll see how they turn
Yay!
out. Yeah, getting great. I'm tracking them.
Yeah, mine are greater than I would like them to be. So
Send some of that
just
greatness
tone the
my
greatness
way.
down.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Last but not least is number 5. Women don't need no man. I was talking
They don't. Okay. Yeah. Just
I was just ranting on mute again.
No, that's fine.
Sorry.
No,
I was
we
on
can-
mute. I was talking about, yeah.
Oh,
But-
I mean, all I was saying was like, yeah, women don't need men, and I actually find it really strange that men want women to need them. Like, I understand it because they don't want to be likable, so they're like, well, if they are financially dependent on me, then I don't have to be like likable or improve myself. I just need to like provide financially, and then I still get the thing that I want from them, right? But like, hi men, like there is more to you. There's so much more to you. You have so much more value than just what you materially provide. Right? Like you could also be likable. It's harder, but you could do it.
Thank you. Yes. All right, we're down to we're on this last one, and let's hear what her explanation for having this position is.
Talking to Jacob about this because this concept bothers me so much. When
Jacob, listen, Jacoby, pay attention. She's talking to you. My name.
we watch like girl power movies or movies that are directed towards women, there's so many these days that if they're not a chick flick, it's a movie where a woman needs to prove that she's independent at the end. So she doesn't have any man. She's like, look at me, I figured it out. I don't need any man to help me find myself.
Yeah.
How dare
you
there
shouldn't
be
need a
media-
man to help you find yourself.
How dare there be media? How dare there be media that exists where the woman is able to overcome whatever the obstacle of the story plot is without the aid of a man? Does that even happen in real life? Are women actually able to do things without men helping them?
What?
Yeah. This freeze frame, I did not intend for this, but I think that this might be her O face. I don't know.
Because I'm so strong and empowered. But movies that are geared towards men that teach them lessons are like, you know what's really important? Family. You know what's really important? Your wife. Why do we do that for men, which is correct, and do the opposite for women? Like, why are we encouraging women?
It is good to encourage people that are in relationships to treat their partners with proper respect, and it is good to teach your children to treat their partners with respect and have that foundation. And I don't think that that she's talking about, because there's movies that present positive traditional. There's more women in media that are presented in this traditional role. She acts like that's completely disappeared. It's no, we're saying that, hey, there's other roles that women can do too. And they're like, hey, wait a minute. Now you're not focusing on the role that we think is important. And that does not fucking matter. Maybe not everyone's built for your role, and other people have other places in society.
Yeah.
Women to not look for that stability, that love, that home that will bring them happiness. I mean, I get the idea that men are more pulled in the direction of wanting to just like screw around and not really be at home theoretically. Like they want to be more, they're more.
That's cultural too, though, because the boys are also conditioned that they can't be in the role that you're making out to be so important. And I would say that Abby is probably not a big fan of stay-at-home dads. I would say that she would not support a male doing what she's doing, and having a spouse that worked, whether male or female, it doesn't really matter, but and having a spouse that worked and supported them while they stayed home and took care of the kids. I guarantee that she would not say, she'd say that's not something he should value as his life. He should be striving for more. I'm sure she would present that. I shouldn't say I'm sure. I imagine she would, though.
Or bachelors, and that women have more of a tendency to want to be married and have children, and so maybe they're trying to make those women who haven't found that yet feel better about themselves, but don't encourage women to make those decisions. Like, what?
Someday you'll find your man, Heathen Queen, and then you'll just settle down and start popping out babies. You'll be like, yeah, school. I want to have babies and stand in the kitchen.
I mean, there's nothing wrong. Again, like, there's nothing wrong with having babies. There's nothing wrong with being a stay-at-home mom. There's nothing wrong with any of that. Like, I've personally never wanted kids, but like, I love other people's kids, and I have been known to help them care for their kids when I'm around. But like, it's just not like it's. Like, you just don't have to do that. Like, you don't have to do that. And this idea that, like, I think it's a really dangerous idea to keep perpetuating this idea, blah, 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 keep saying idea, to keep perpetuating this notion that women eventually are going to find their Prince Charming, right? Or their life partner. Now, if that's what you want, I sincerely hope that you find that. Like, I don't know that you will or you won't. I hope that you do if that's what you want. But like, I also know women that are happily single and don't have a life partner and honestly don't want one. Like, I know women like this that are like, I don't like if someone spectacular comes into my life, I guess I'm open to that changing. But like right now, I'm happy with my life the way it is on my own, with my own hobbies and my own whatever and yada yada yada. So like this idea that like women need to be seeking a life partner, it's
That's supposed to be the end goal for all people that are assigned female at birth, is for them to want
yeah.
to be in this role that Abby is fine with, and that she wants for herself, and is well, not really
Right.
wants of herself because she's actually working, but she wants for her audience. But not everybody wants that, and it's okay for them to not want that. And people saying it's okay to not want that and to do other things is not a slight against you or your worldview. Saying other people can have other ambition.
That's stupid. That's not good. It doesn't make anyone happy. I understand that we're trying to comfort those women who have not yet found this, but by making bad decisions, you're only making it harder for yourself to find a husband and to have children and have a home life. Like, no, women are not better off by being independent and going off without a man and not needing someone. Everybody needs a partner. Men.
No, they don't. No, not everybody needs a partner. Some people, it's bad for them to have a partner. Some people don't mesh well in long-term relationships or in intimate relationships. You don't. She overgeneralizes what's best for the population just based on her breeding fetish cult that she's part of.
Men need women, women need men. Done. Solved. The mystery of the world has been solved. So stop telling women that they are better off on their own and that they're stronger on their own. No. Like, figure yourself out, but don't eschew men. Men are very good for you.
You're assuming that it's not good to not have them, and that is discouraging for people who may not be interested in a relationship with a man because, I don't know, not all men are great. We can't hear you, Jess.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
I was saying not all men are great, not all women are great, not all people are great, right? But like also this notion is what keeps women in shitty relationships way longer than they need to be. Like or should be. And I don't mean like abusive relationships even, although it can be those as well. But, like I'm not domestic violence situations are very complicated and I'm not trying to get into that, but just like generally speaking, like there are lots of relationships that are not healthy or good that women often stay in because they feel like it's better than being single. And that's super dangerous and unhealthy.
Yeah, not good for your psyche, ladies.
They will make you better and you will make them better. Good. Congratulations.
I'm not here to make anyone better.
Gosh, the left is...
You aren't here to parent an adult?
Shocking, right? Like, I do think that if you find an adult that's working on themselves and you're an adult that's working on yourself, you can certainly learn from each other and help each other grow. But this notion that, like, you're going to make somebody better is what gets women into these roles of being, like, parents to immature men that aren't doing the work and that are hurting them. Like, I'm not here to make anyone a better man, especially at the expense of myself, right? So like maybe I would hope that if I find a life partner that he and I make each other better in ways, right? But that's by like unlocking things that maybe like I hadn't explored before or knew about myself, or so he brings something out in me. Not like I have to teach this man how to be a person. Like, that's not what that's the conflation that I really don't like.
And if you enter into a relationship with the pretenses that you intend to change the person that you're entering into the relationship, then you should
they're not going to change.
Just don't be in that relationship, because that shouldn't be your goal. If you don't like them how they are, don't try to turn them into somebody else. Go find someone you do like how they are. And that's not to say people can't change, or you can't say, I want to have a better relationship with this person. So
but people are fundamentally who they are, right? Like, yes, we can all mature and grow and we can evolve. But like, the reality of the situation is I'm never going to be a person that's going to be able to sit quietly and not speak my mind. If you want somebody that's like that, if you want someone like that, great, but it's not me, right? And like, if you try and change me into that, all it's going to do is make me upset.
Like, I don't think anybody has that capability to do that to you.
No,
I think
that, no, nobody.
They'd be biting off more than they could chew with that challenge.
Whatevs. Yeah, but it also, like, that the same thing is like it's one of those things where it's like I am also not the kind of person that like is going to respond well to that. So like, what makes me feel happy and not fulfilled, but like what makes me feel happy is when somebody else likes that about me, right? Because that's when I'm being my genuine self. So if you like that about me, then like I feel like I'm being seen and you like that. If you only like me when I'm like clamping down on what my like natural response to a thing is because I think it'll like make you happy, that's just not going to last. We are who we are.
Yeah, you can't fake being. Believe me, I promise you can't spend your life pretending to be somebody you're not, because it doesn't ever work out in your favor. Not for your own good anyway. All right, she's got about a minute left here. We're just gonna let her wrap up. I think it may just be a few seconds before she starts doing her shilling and whatnot, so we won't watch that. But
really doing a disservice to women. So these are the 5 things that are making me furious today. I'd love to know in the comments, what's something that's making you furious that the left is trying to tell women?
All right, let's do it. You girls ready?
I'm ready.
All right, what the left is trying to tell women that makes you furious. Let's see. Abby, what do other people have down here? Don't tell women to fulfill your potential by getting a job. Also, Abby, women fulfill their potentials by having babies.
Yeah.
Abby describes basic freedom. Also, Abby, it makes me so mad. Let's see. Why do stay-at-home moms look down on moms who want to have a balanced work, family, and life? Yeah, I always think of Josh's wife when I think about a mom who like is achieving like top rung.
The moms who do it all.
Yeah, Megan is.
Yeah, I don't know how she does it. Not gonna lie.
Badass. And she's got twins too, which is what made my dad's hair fall out. So, Josh, I'm just warning you that that's when it started, when you have twins. All right, I was gonna put a comment, but I can't think of anything the left specifically is telling women that they shouldn't be. I really can't. So, anybody in the comment section, feel free to give us some insight. But we are going to pop back out to the main screen here, and I think you have something coming up here shortly, don't you?
Me?
This evening?
Oh yes, I do. I am. Will be on, what is the channel's name? Like Beelzebub. I can never say it right. Let me see. It is. Oh, I got it right. Beelzebub.
Yeah, I think Bub's in the. Well, Bub was here at the beginning.
I can never pronounce. I sincerely just my brain is so fried sometimes. I'm sorry, but yeah, I will be on his channel at 4:30, talking about 4:30 Pacific Standard Time, talking about my apostasy and how much I love sinning. which is why I deconstructed. Just kidding, it's not why I deconstructed at all, but I like to just say that to people. Yeah, so I'll be over there telling my story, doing my thing, having some fun.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome. And also, I mean, she's on this thing running above our heads here. She's on TikTok, and she's more regular on TikTok than she's on YouTube. She's pretty active on YouTube too, though. Completely different kind of content, though. So just be
it might
warned.
make your head spin.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess I shouldn't say completely different, because you do little clips of responding to bad apologetics on both of them, but I think there's more a response to misogyny over there on the TikTok side of things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You right.
All right. Well, I've had a busy weekend, so I think I'm gonna go chill now. I may pop in somebody else's stream tonight. I don't know, but I'll definitely try to pop over there onto Buzzz and give you some love from the side chat. Thank you so much to everybody. We had a great turnout tonight, by the way. For my little tiny channel, we had a great turnout. If you aren't subscribed, I need 150 more subscribers to hit my 1,000, and I can monetize the channel and have super chats, and you all can be actual members of the channel, and that would be freaking great. So, yeah, please, if you aren't, hit the subscribe button. I would really appreciate it, and so much love from the Hive, and I will see you guys around the neighborhood. Please remember
Thanks for having me.
Yes, thank you, Heathen Queen, and please remember to be kind and take care. All right, bye-bye.
Bye.